Hey guys, and welcome to another 4v4 commentary from Clan S1N. The more people play setons, the more experienced they become. Nowadays, the standard strategy for frontman is to send commander into middle to reclaim mass for upgrading or mass production. In the hands of great frontmen backed by great team support, it is very hard to deal with that kind of strategy alone. Therefore, it is important to play with a good team. Now this game is a very good demonstration of how to counter this kind of middle defense strategy with T1 spamming and along with some teamwork. The enemy commander is building T1 defense while the engineer on the side is reclaiming mass. He's using the mass to upgrade or to build factories. Either way, the best response I can give is to produce more units than he does. Now I'm going to get more engineers to assist on the factories rather than producing more factories, because I find that more factories is a waste of resource. Assist build will always outproduce factory spamming. I usually get around 5 to 7 factories with engineer assist. I find that it's plenty to fight off a rush. So in this case he is upgrading as he's only pumping with only 2 factories. Scouting middle is the most important thing. We need to know what he's getting in order to adapt. Now air scouts reveal he is upgrading the commander on guarding, so now making a push is to keep him on his toes. So he will dedicate resource to turret spam, which is what we actually want. Now the best time to attack is when he's upgrading the commander. It's like catching him with his pants down. So when next time you're upgrading your commander, make sure he's in a safe haven. You know, not like this guy here. Now the reason why I'm not saving up units and make a bigger push is I don't give him the time to build too many turrets. The standoff situations are very bad because the turrets plus radar gives them a very long range, and it's very difficult to break into their defense with only low tier units. Now the ally is helping out with a few T2s in order to break his attempt to set up defense. Now he's going to retreat, so that's a big plus for our team. Now being on the offensive, we need to push him as further back as we can, and if possible we can eliminate him right here. So we are sending a string load of units straight into his retreat path, trying to bring him down. At this point his allies do not have the capability to respond, possibly because they're still teching and they don't have any units to help out. So right here I send the attack signal for airstrikes, hoping he would end right here. And if he gets killed now, the game is just over, because our land units will walk all over the place. But luckily he managed to get to Tech 2 at the right time to ease our attack from the ground. As he slowly moved into safety, our allies brought a ton of T1 and T2 air to deal the final blow. Now his commander is slowly regaining health and ranking up from all the T1 kills, and that is why he's been surviving for so long. But if he lacks the air defense, then he's going down. But does he? Well, his base has only a few AA turrets. Well, this is going to be a very close one. You know, I wish my team can just all micro the units to hit the commander at the same time. But even if we don't kill him now, we still have the game's momentum. As we have successfully pushed through, now he has less mastermind. Now, they will always be on the defensive after this. You know, there are the after effects. But anyone on our team would want him to die right now, so it is one less to mind about. Now his ally storms in with T2 gunships, just raping our front line. Thought it's game over? Well, the game only got started. Looking at the score right now, their team is actually leading. You can learn a lot of information about your enemy from the score, which I think should be a feature that not included in game. But you can't say that they're stronger by looking at their score. By my experience, the higher the score, the better the macro and econ of that player. It makes sense for them to have a better econ at this point, because they haven't done anything except teching and expanding the whole time, while all my allies contributed a little bit to help out the front. But is that really a disadvantage to our team? After we pushed in, now we're being pushed back by their Navy long-range shelling. I mentioned about naval warfare from my previous commentary, but I didn't get too much into it. The role it plays in the game is actually just as important as ground and air. See here, black shells the ground units with cruise missiles, forcing retreat, and they can reclaim metal resource, puts pressure on our shore metal extractors, forcing us to shield up. You know, there's a lot of resource will be going to defense, which I think is a big waste. So in other words, fight water with water is the best option. Now here my clanmate demonstrate this point precisely. Like I said before, the key to naval battles is submarines. Here my clanmates build nothing but those T2 subkillers, and he clearly dominated the sea because the enemy has only a few T1 subs to guard his cruisers. The bigger ships have poor torpedoes to deal with the subs, so they can be easily brought down by subs if not guarded well. Another option is to get some torpedo bombers, but those units are pretty weak against any AA units. So unless you don't have the resources, try not to use the torpedo bombers because they're mostly for killing subs with little or just no air support. After Black's Navy was demolished, we still have to worry about the guy in the back with the highest score. Now that calls for some tactical creativity. So my clanmate does what he does best, sniping. This time not 2, not 3, but a grand total of 5 T2 missiles, enough to bring down an experimental unit. I'm guessing my clanmate probably knows the enemy's ACU has been upgraded 1 or 2 times, having more health than the normal ACUs based on his high score. But you know, 5 is an overkill in my opinion. Meanwhile, on the LIC side, things are looking good. The enemy is barraging him with cruise missiles while he's desperately trying to shield him, so we need to resolve the situation fast. First, the scout reveals the location of the enemy ACU, seeing he is upgrading. Now he's definitely dead. Now my ally catches him with his pants down, firing the last remaining 5 missiles, ending his game. And that was simply a brilliant turnover. Now, catching on with the game's momentum, we pushed into their base with T3s, just as the rear giant exploded helplessly. Taking down their trump card inflated their morale. Now we attack simultaneously to worsen that effect, and not giving them any time to think or communicate. We're going to take them down just as easily as we did with the rear. This will deal quite the psychological damage. It is a crushing blow to the face, and that ensures victory for us. Now the rest of the game is basically a walk in the park. There is no need to discuss, and so I hope you enjoyed our game.